Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Smackdown review. Smackdown tonight was from the Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona, and this was the first Smackdown show that Smackdown has gone 3 hours, and it's going to be 3 hours for now and in the future. But Smackdown tonight, I thought it was a decent show in my opinion, but since it was 3 hours, the show kind of dragged a bit, and that's how it felt. When Monday Night Raw was 3 hours, where it just dragged in like the second hour, and then dragged a little bit in the last hour, and that's why I prefer when the show was 2 hours, because I know a lot of people will be like, oh, well, if it's a 2 hour show, you can't fit everybody on a 2 hour show. But if you do 3 hours, you could almost give everybody a chance. Well, if you book a 3 hour show, you're going to get some filler on it that some of you probably won't care about. So, but like I said, SmackDown was a decent show, but just dragged at parts. But tonight on the show, we had Shinsuke Nakamura. He ended up taking on Andrade. Michin was in action, and she had taken on Piper Niven. We had the Tag Team Championship on the line, where DIY, Johnny Organo, and Tommaso Ciampa defend the titles against the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. So they ended up getting their rematch, and this was announced on WWE social media from Nick Aldis, SmackDown General Manager, because of the Street Profits injuries. So Motor City Machine Guns got their rematch for the titles. We had the Women's Championship on the line, where Nia Jax defended the title against Noami. And the main event, we had a 6-man tag, the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. They have taken on the Usos and Sami Zayn. That was SmackDown tonight. Like I said, decent show, but at points dragged in parts. But before I get into the review, I got 2 things to announce. One is I am going to be doing a live watch-along for the very first Monday Night Raw on Netflix this Monday. So if you want to come by, join me when the show goes live at 8 o'clock. So join me. Let's watch the first ever Monday Night Raw on Netflix, and let's have some fun. So it'll be like I said, a watch along, a live reaction of the very first Monday Night Raw on Netflix from the Intuit Dome in LA. And then on Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern, it's going to be me and my buddy Noah Kaser, who has been on my channel here from time to time. We're going to be starting our very first episode of our wrestling podcast. And it's going to be called The Bell Call, which we're going to be talking about, Monday Night Raw, the first ever Monday Night Raw on Netflix. We're going to give our thoughts on that. We're going to give our thoughts on SmackDown. And Noah's going to give a rant on AEW. So we're going to hear his thoughts about that. And we're going to talk about, some news happening in the pro wrestling world. And we might do it, every week maybe, or bi-weekly. It's dependent on both of our schedules. And if it's a slow news week, if there's not that much news going on in the world of professional wrestling, we're just going to do retro Monday Night Raw reviews of Raws from back in the day. And also, since the Royal Rumble is coming up on February 1st, if, like I said, it's a slow news week, if there's not much happening, we will also do retro Royal Rumble reviews. So be on the lookout for our very first show, The Bell Call, happening Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern on my channel here. before AEW Dynamite. So be sure to check us out. So that's the two big announcements that I want to make. So hopefully you will join me on Monday for the watch along, and on Wednesday with me and Noah for our very first episode of The Bell Call. But anyway, let's jump right into the review. SmackDown opened up tonight with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes ended up coming out, got a big pop from the crowd there in Phoenix. Cody got into the ring, he got on the mic, and he kept saying normally he would ask what do they want to talk about. You know, how he always tells the city, you know, what do you want to talk about? But he kept saying that they probably all want to talk about the same thing. Cody kept saying that timing is funny in life, just as it is in the industry. He kept saying that WWE is on the cusp of changing everything because SmackDown tonight goes 3 hours and Monday Night Raw on Monday goes to Netflix. He kept saying that his excitement is timbered because he can only be involved so much as he is not cleared to wrestle because of Kevin Owens. Cody kept saying that at the Royal Rumble, it will be him and Kevin Owens in a ladder match. So there you go. It's going to be a ladder match at the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens with the Undisputed WWE Championship on the line. So Kevin Owens got interrupted by Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre ended up coming down to the ring. McIntyre slowly got into the ring, and he stared down at Cody. So McIntyre then ended up hugging Cody, and Cody looked all confused. Cody looked confused of like, oh, why is he hugging me? So McIntyre ended up saying that he is not here to hurt Cody, and that he is here to help him. And McIntyre ended up saying that Cody isn't on his list, and that Cody is about to screw up his entire life's work. McIntyre ended up saying everything Cody did, all the dues that he paid to be the centerpiece, McIntyre ended up saying that this is the greatest generation of the company. He ended up saying right now is the best wrestlers they have ever had in the ring. And if you look at the numbers, the best of all time by far. He ended up saying that Cody is the quarterback of it all. But McIntyre ended up saying that Cody is about to screw all that up. He ended up going to tell Cody that there is a guy running around with a replica title, like a fan in the crowd, pretending to be a champion. He ended up saying that Cody's neck is hanging by a thread. McIntyre ended up saying that this SmackDown gimmick, he can see that Cody needs a friend. So Cody then cut McIntyre off. He ended up telling McIntyre that he knows the transfer window is open and that McIntyre wants to help him. Cody ended up saying that he would like to tell the truth back to McIntyre. He ended up saying that he watched McIntyre carry the company through its darkest times. He ended up saying that he saw that over the last 2 to 3 years, and that McIntyre has become a beast on the mic and the ring. But Cody ended up saying that he doesn't believe McIntyre. And he doesn't believe McIntyre, and he can feel the tension, the situation, and it's going to devolve. So Cody ended up telling McIntyre if he wants a shot at the championship, they might as well do it, and that everyone wants it. So McIntyre then ended up telling Cody that he is telling him the truth, and that he is not here to hurt him, and that he is here to help him. So McIntyre then got on the ring apron, and he ended up telling Cody that he needs to watch his back. So McIntyre dropped from the ring apron, and we saw Kevin Owens in the ring. Kevin Owens ended up hitting Cody from behind, and so Kevin Owens and Cody end up brawling. Of course, we had officials end up coming out to break things up between Cody and Owens. Owens was pulled to the outside of the ring, and officials end up trying to break it up between them, and pretty much that was basically that. But it looks like we're gonna get an alliance with Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and possibly maybe even Seth Rollins. So that would be pretty cool to see Seth Rollins in this alliance with Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. So, but overall, this was a good opening to the show here. Drew McIntyre coming out there, telling Cody, I don't want to hurt you. I just want to help you. But enjoyable opening to the show here. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had the first match of the night. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Andrade. And this was a very good match here. Really enjoyed this. And I forgot to mention, I liked how they added the blue canvas in the ring for SmackDown. Really liked how they touched up that. Thought it was a good showcase and good presentation, since, SmackDown is the blue brand. So I thought that, like I said, was a nice touch. So the match got underway. Andrade delivered her Hurricanrana to Nakamura. Nakamura ended up falling to the ring apron. Andrade then delivered a drop kick, and Nakamura ended up falling to the outside. Andrade ended up climbing the top rope, and he ended up landing a moonsault onto Nakamura, which was cool. So then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Nakamura was in control of the match. He ended up delivering a knee to Andrade and a kick to the side of Andrade's head. Nakamura delivered some kicks and some right hands to Andrade. He then placed Andrade on the second rope and landed a snap release German suplex. Nakamura then ended up climbing the second rope. He landed a knee to Andrade's face. He ended up going for the cover, and Andrade ended up kicking out. So Nakamura ended up going for another cover, and Andrade kicked out of that. Nakamura then removed the top turnbuckle pad, and Andrade delivered a drop kick to Nakamura. He then delivered a running meteor to Nakamura. He ended up going for the cover, to which Nakamura ended up kicking out. Andrade ended up climbing up to the top rope, and he ended up going for a moonsault off the top rope, to which Nakamura moved out of the way, and Andrade landed on his feet, and he landed a standing moonsault. That was nice of Andrade there. Nice spot by him, where he couldn't land the moonsault off of the top rope, and he landed on his feet and landed a standing moonsault. So Andrade ended up going for the cover, and Nakamura ended up kicking out. He had Andrade deliver a back elbow to Nakamura. He went for the cover. Nakamura kicked out again. You had Andrade end up placing Nakamura on the top rope. Andrade got on the second rope, but Nakamura ended up slamming Andrade face first into the top of the ring post. So Nakamura ended up getting back into the ring, and he hit Andrade with the Kinshasa. So Nakamura ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Nakamura ended up winning the match. So Andrade was pinned clean by Nakamura here. Post-match, LA Knight ended up coming out. He ended up running to the ring. Knight ended up delivering a clothesline onto Nakamura. Knight ended up going for the BFT to Nakamura, but Nakamura ended up pushing him away, and he ended up leaving the ring. Knight then ended up getting on the mic. He ended up telling Nakamura that one way or another, he has come to collect for what is owed to him. And he will stomp Nakamura to dust, with everybody saying, L.A. Knight, yeah! So Knight wants his United States Championship back from Nakamura. So, and he's going to get that. But overall, very good match it was between Nakamura and Andrade here. Very enjoyable. And then we saw Apollo Crews. Apollo! He was walking backstage and he ended up getting stopped by Pretty Deadly, Pretty Awful, in Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. Apollo Crews ended up telling Pretty Deadly that everyone knew they were lying about who attacked the Street Profits. So in came Legado del Fantasma. You had Santos Escobar end up telling them if Pretty Deadly are going to lie, they can lie to their faces. So Pretty Deadly were like to Santos Escobar, oh, that's ridiculous. Calm down. So we had Legado del Fantasma end up grabbing Pretty Deadly. And Nick Aldis and officials end up coming in to break it up between them. And pretty much that was basically that. Did I care? No. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis was speaking to Pretty Deadly. And in came DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Nick Aldis ended up telling Pretty Deadly and DIY that they are all on thin ice. So Nick Aldis ended up walking away. DIY ended up telling Pretty Deadly that they would be great number one contenders, but they have a big match against Motor City Machine Guns, and it's very important. So they end up saying, that they will leave tonight still as the tag team champions. And pretty much that was basically that. But really? Pretty Deadly? They would be great number one contenders? Are you serious? Yeah, Pretty Deadly has done nothing to earn an opportunity for the tag team titles. Nothing. And then we had Michin. She ended up taking on Piper Niven. Piper Niven was accompanied by Chelsea Green, of course, the first ever Women's United States Champion. And this was a boring match here, in my opinion. So the match got underway. Michin delivered some kicks to Piper Niven and a Hurricanrana. Piper Niven ended up rolling to the outside of the ring. Michin delivered another Hurricanrana to Piper Niven off the ring apron. Michin then ran towards Piper Niven, but Piper Niven ended up slamming Michin onto the floor. So then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Piper Niven was in control of the match. She ended up going for a cannonball to Michin, but Michin ended up moving out of the way. Michin delivered a cannonball onto Piper Niven in the corner. She ended up going for the cover, but Piper Niven ended up kicking out. Michin ended up going for the eat defeat, but Piper Niven ended up grabbing Michin and ended up hitting Michin with the Piper driver. Piper Niven ended up going for the cover, but Michin ended up kicking out. So at the end of the match, we had Michin end up hitting a kick to Piper Niven's face, and she ended up delivering the eat defeat. She ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Michin ended up winning the match. Overall, terrible, awful match this was. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was in the ring. He did his whole shtick, got on the mic, and said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. He ended up saying that he wants to set the record straight. Heyman ended up saying that on Monday, we will find out who is the real tribal chief. He ended up saying that him and Roman Reigns trained Solo Sikoa to become the next in line to become the tribal chief. Heyman ended up saying that him and Roman taught him to become the tribal chief, and they prepped him for the future. Not right now. Paul Heyman ended up saying that at WrestleMania, Roman turns attention to Seth Rollins for a moment, and Cody took advantage of that. Paul Heyman ended up saying that is where Solo Sikoa stole the Ula Fala from Roman. He ended up saying that stupid son of a bitch, to which he ended up calling Solo Sikoa that. He ended up calling Solo Sikoa a stupid son of a bitch. He ended up saying that he stole it from Roman Reigns. He kept saying that he got rid of Jimmy Uso, the Wise Man, and everyone. He kept saying Solo Sikoa then brought in Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and Tonga Loa. So Paul Heyman was about to leave, but out came Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa ended up coming out. Paul Heyman was freaking out in the ring, and this was funny. When Paul Heyman got back on the mic and he was talking to Solo Sikoa, he had telling Sikoa, "Oh, I am 10 seconds away from pissing my pants," which that made me laugh. He kept saying, because the last time he said that, Solo Sikoa was not his tribal chief, and that he got sent through a table in front of his kids at Madison Square Garden. He kept saying that he knows if he blinks at him wrong, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu will come out, and the same thing will happen again. So Solo Sikoa extended his hand like this, and Paul Heyman ended up giving him the mic. So he ended up telling Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa ended up telling Paul Heyman that he wants to owe Heyman a favor. He ended up telling Heyman that on Monday, he needs someone to hold the Ula Fala during the tribal combat match. Sikoa ended up saying that he needs someone who loves his family, and that on Monday, if Roman beats him, he will acknowledge Roman as his tribal chief. So Sikoa ended up saying that when he beats Roman, which he will put the Ula Fala around his neck. Paul Heyman will put the Ula Fala around his neck, and everyone will know he owns the Ula Fala, and that he will own Paul Heyman. So the fans end up booing, and Solo Sikoa end up leaving the ring. And pretty much that was basically that. Overall, this was a good segment here. Paul Heyman coming out there, and, talking some backstory about, WrestleMania and how Roman turns attention to Seth Rollins for a moment, and Cody Rhodes took that advantage, with Cody Rhodes winning the Undisputed WWE Championship, and him going to, saying that's when Solo Sikoa stole the Ula Fala from Roman. But I have a feeling that Paul Heyman is going to turn on Roman, and Paul Heyman is going to give the win to Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline, and Paul Heyman is going to align himself with Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu and Tonga Loa. So that's how the way I see it going down on Monday. I think Solo Sikoa is going to win the Tribal Combat match, and he's going to defeat Roman, taking the Ula Fala, still having it. So that's how the way I see it going down. And then we had DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns. This is for the Tag Team Championship. Gargano and Ciampa defend the titles. And this was a decent match here. So the match started off with Chris Sabin and Tommaso Ciampa in the ring. Ciampa delivered a big boot to Sabin. So Ciampa ended up running to the ropes, but Sabin ended up delivering a kick to Ciampa's face. So both Ciampa and Sabin were down. Johnny Gargano and Alex Shelley were then tagged in, so they ended up going at it. Alex Shelley delivered some right hands to Gargano. Shelley then delivered a neck breaker to Gargano, and Gargano was then thrown to the outside. Ciampa was then knocked off the ring apron by Shelley. So Chris Sabin was then tagged in, and the Motor City Machine Guns ended up landing double baseball slides onto DIY. So Chris Sabin was then tagged in came Gargano. Motor City Machine Guns then end up kicking onto Gargano, double team on Gargano. Alex Shelley ended up going for the cover, but Tommaso Ciampa ended up breaking up the pin. Chris Sabin then grabbed Ciampa, ended up hitting him with a right hand. So all four guys were in the ring. They ended up knocking each other down. Gargano was then tagged in, and he lands some chops onto Alex Shelley. Gargano ended up throwing Shelley into the ropes. Chris Sabin then tagged in, and we had the Motor City Machine Guns end up double teaming on Ciampa. So they end up going for the Skull and Bones to DIY, but Pretty Deadly end up running down. Pretty Deadly end up distracting DIY. So Ciampa ended up delivering a knee to the face onto Alex Shelley, and Gargano was then tagged in. So DIY then double teamed up on Chris Sabin. Gargano ended up going for the cover, but Alex Shelley ended up kicking out. So this led to Legado del Fantasma end up running down. And we had Santos and Berto and Angel end up chasing Pretty Deadly away. They end up going through the crowd. So the Motor City Machine Guns end up locking in crossfaces onto DIY, onto both Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So almost DIY was about to tap out. But Pretty Deadly were chasing to the ring, and Pretty Deadly ended up falling onto DIY, and the ref ended up calling for the bell. So the match ended in a no contest. So DIY, Gargano, and Ciampa are still the tag team champions. But overall, decent match it was. And then we saw Nia Jax. Nia Jax was with Candice LeRae. Nia ended up asking Candice LeRae where Tiffany is, where Tiffany Stratton is. And Candice ended up telling Nia Jax that Tiffany might still be angry about what happened last week. So Nia ended up telling Candice that she needs Bianca to stay out of her way. Candice then ended up telling Nia that anything she needs. And that was basically that. So Nia Jax, wanted Candice LeRae out there for the match just for her to have Bianca stay out of Nia Jax's way. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was walking backstage, and he got stopped by Mr. Him, Carmelo Hayes. So both Sami Zayn and Carmelo Hayes were arguing. Carmelo Hayes ended up telling Sami that he had him beat. But the Usos ended up coming in. The Usos ended up asking Carmelo Hayes if they have a problem. Carmelo Hayes was like to the Usos, there is no problem. Sami Zayn ended up telling Carmelo Hayes to tell him more. And Carmelo Hayes ended up walking away. So Sami Zayn and the Usos end up shaking hands. The Usos end up beginning walking, and they bumped into Kevin Owens. Jay ended up telling Kevin Owens that he has to watch where he is going. To which Kevin Owens ended up telling Jay, oh, he has to watch his back. And pretty much that was basically that. Then we saw Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was walking backstage. He got stopped by Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis ended up asking Cody if he is okay. To which Cody ended up telling Nick Aldis that he is. Aldis ended up telling Cody that he begged him to have the match at the Rumble. And now Cody might not make it. Cody ended up saying to Nick Aldis that he respects the fact that he is thinking about his future. And that he is actually a good boss. He ended up saying that he is the boss. And he is the champ. Cody ended up saying that this is the most important week in WWE history. He ended up saying that he has the right to call his shot. And if McIntyre wants to be on SmackDown, Nick Aldis should welcome him and bring him in. So that was basically what Cody had to say. So, but, McIntyre, wants, a shot at Cody. And then we had the Women's Championship match. Nia Jax defended the title against Naomi. Nia Jax was, of course, accompanied by Candice LeRae. Naomi, of course, accompanied by Bianca Belair. And this was a decent match here. I gotta say, Nia Jax Nia Jax's best opponent here might end up being Naomi. And they have chemistry together in the ring. And surprisingly, they did decent here. Although there were points in the match where stuff came off sloppy between the both of them, but it was entertaining. So the match got underway. Naomi ended up delivering some kicks to Nia Jax, but Nia Jax came back and delivered a headbutt to Naomi. Nia then threw Naomi across the ring. Naomi then ended up rolling to the ring apron, but Nia Jax ended up knocking Naomi down. So as SmackDown came back from the commercial, Nia Jax was in control of the match. She ended up slamming Naomi onto the canvas, and then she delivered an elbow drop to Naomi. Nia Jax ended up going for the cover, but Naomi ended up kicking out. Nia Jax then threw Naomi's shoulder first to the ring post. Nia then got on the ring apron, and she ended up crushing Naomi into the ring post. So Nia ended up going for the cover, and Naomi ended up kicking out. Nia then lifted Naomi up, but Naomi ended up rolling Nia Jax up into a cover, to which Nia ended up kicking out. Nice roll up by Naomi there on Nia. So Naomi ended up climbing the second rope, and she landed a leg drop onto Nia. Naomi ended up going for the cover, and Nia ended up kicking out. So we had Naomi ended up throwing Nia to the outside, and she landed a suicide dive to Nia Jax. Naomi then threw Nia back into the ring, and she landed a kick to the side of Nia's head, but Nia ended up staying on her feet, and Naomi delivered a Samoan drop to Nia Jax. Nice Samoan drop there by Naomi. So Naomi ended up going for the cover, and Nia ended up kicking out. We had Nia deliver a leg drop to Naomi. She ended up going for the cover, and Naomi ended up kicking out. We had Candice LeRae tried to get involved, but Bianca Belair ended up knocking Candice off the ring apron. She threw Candice into the barricade, and Nia Jax came out of the ring, and she had pinning Bianca with the women's tag team title. And then we had Nia Jax end up going into the ring. She climbed up the second rope, and she ended up going for the Annihilator, but Naomi ended up moving out of the way. And then we heard, it's Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton ended up coming out, and she wanted to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, but she decided not to. So the ref was distracted, and Stratton ended up hitting Naomi with the Money in the Bank briefcase. This led to Nia Jax climbing the second rope, and she landed the Annihilator on Naomi. Nia Jax ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Nia Jax ended up winning the match, retaining the Women's Championship. Post-match, Bianca Belair got into the ring, but she ended up getting knocked down by Nia Jax. Tiffany Stratton then ended up hitting Nia Jax with the briefcase, and she ended up throwing Candice into the ring post. Bianca then ended up hitting Nia Jax with the KOD, and Stratton ended up throwing Bianca to the outside. Now you know where this is leading to. Tiffany Stratton then cashed in the briefcase, and she ended up going up to the top, and she ended up landing the prettiest moonsault ever. Stratton ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Tiffany Stratton ended up winning, and she is your new women's champion. And thank God the title is off of Nia Jax. Tiffany Stratton is going to thrive as a women's champion. And the crowd, when she cashed in that briefcase, went absolutely nuts for Stratton. And it's going to be one hell of a women's championship reign that Tiffany Stratton is going to have. And I can't wait to see it. But you know where this is probably going to lead to. It's going to lead to Charlotte Flair coming back Charlotte Flair is possibly going to be in the Royal Rumble. God forbid she wins the Royal Rumble, and she might be Tiffany Stratton's first opponent, as you know, she is the women's champion now. So Tiffany Stratton's opponent is going to be Charlotte Flair. Watch that happen. And watch, you know, they take the title off of Tiffany Stratton and put it on Charlotte. That would be an awful, awful idea. I don't want to see that happen. Stratton needs to have a long reign with the title. And I know my prediction was wrong on this of when Tiffany Stratton was going to cash in the briefcase. I thought that, you know, she would wait until WrestleMania to cash it in, give herself a WrestleMania moment. But, you know, she decided to cash it in tonight, which was enjoyable. But really am glad that Stratton is the new women's champion and that the title is finally off of Nia Jax. Main event, 6-man tag, the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. They have taken on the Usos and Sami Zayn, which this match, you know, how many times have we seen this? I wasn't feeling this match at all. You know, it's the same old, but you know, if it has the Bloodline, you know it's going to main event. But this did not feel like a main event match here. Match started off with all 6 men fighting in the ring, and immediately SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Sami Zayn was in control of the match. He delivered an elbow to Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga got back up, but Sami Zayn delivered a clothesline. Sami then locked an armbar on Tama Tonga. Jimmy Uso then tagged in. Jimmy ended up going to the ropes, but Solo Sikoa ended up hitting him from behind. Solo Sikoa was then tagged in. He ended up hitting Jimmy with some right hands. Sikoa then distracted the ref, and Tama Tonga delivered a right hand to Jimmy. Sikoa then grabbed Sami, but Sami ended up hanging Sikoa up on the ropes. Sami then got Sikoa in the corner, and he had pinned Sikoa with some right hands. Sami then climbed the second rope, but he got caught by Sikoa, and Sikoa ended up delivering a spinning solo to Sami, and then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Sami Zayn was in control. He delivered the Blue Thunder Bomb on Sikoa, and both guys were then down. So this led to Jay and Tama Tonga tagging in. They end up going at it. Jay delivers some right hands to Tama Tonga. The Usos then double teamed up on Tama Tonga. Jacob Fatu then end up coming in, and the Usos end up clotheslining Jacob Fatu to the outside. And Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso end up falling to the outside. Jay delivered a pop-up neck breaker on Tama Tonga. Jay ended up going for the cover, and Tama Tonga ended up kicking out. On the outside, we saw Jacob Fatu. He threw Jimmy into the barricade. Sami then delivered a splash off the ring steps onto Jacob Fatu. So Sikoa then threw Sami into the barricade. Sikoa then got on the ring apron, but Jay ended up knocking him down. Tama Tonga then ended up hitting Jay with the DDT. He ended up going for the cover, and Jay ended up kicking out. Later on, we saw Drew McIntyre. He walked down to the ring, and that distracted Jey Uso. Jacob Fatu ended up grabbing Jay. Jay ended up running to the ropes, and he landed a suicide dive onto Drew McIntyre. Jay then climbed the top rope. He jumped off the top, but Jacob Fatu moved out of the way, and Jacob Fatu ended up hitting Jay with a pop-up Samoan drop. Jacob Fatu ended up going for the cover, and Jay ended up kicking out. Jacob Fatu then dragged Jay to the corner, and Solo Sikoa then tagged in. Jacob Fatu ended up yelling out, "I love you, Solo!" He ended up running towards Jay. Jay moved out of the way, and Fatu ended up hitting the turnbuckles hard. Solo Sikoa then got into the ring. Jay super kicked Solo Sikoa to the outside, and he delivered a spear to Jacob Fatu, to which Jay did not know that Jacob Fatu was not the legal man. It was Sol Sikoa. Jay then climbed to the top rope and he landed the Uso splash onto Jacob Fatu. So Jay ended up going for the cover, and Charles Robinson was like, no, he's not the legal man. Jacob Fatu's not the legal man. But Sol Sikoa then ended up hitting Jay with the Samoan spike. Sol Sikoa ended up going for the cover, and there you go. The Bloodline ended up winning the match. And that was how SmackDown went off the air. Overall, this match, it was the same old. How many times have we seen the Bloodline, the Usos, and Sami Zayn go at it? So, if you've seen it once, you've seen it plenty of times. But overall, SmackDown, decent show was tonight. But anyway, that's it for the SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all later.